Lately I've been feeling things change. We've been working hard, no sleep, get it every day. And I swear that we ain't stopping till we pay. Yeah, the pressure on, gotta make it work. Triple play, yeah.
This is Triple Play Fantasy Basketball in the heart of the playoffs. I'm your host, Coach James Lewis. On the other end, Doc Eric Mendelson. What up, bro?
You know much, James. We got a few more shows left, and then communication from us goes down drastically. You can try and say that's not how it's going to be. It is going to be it. For those that have stayed and watched for the majority, if not all of the 20 weeks, thank you. We appreciate you.
We do appreciate you, and we're here to talk about some fantasy basketball, as that is why you are here. Games Watch week. 10 games on Monday, 4 on Tuesday, 11 Wednesday, 5 Thursday, Friday, 10 slate, Saturday 8, Sunday 8. So, yeah, I mean, honestly, you might be getting rocked midweek, but it's not over till it's over. Sunday is obviously the biggest day when it comes to fantasy basketball. This week, Orlando Magic and the Dallas Mavericks played 2 games.
Womp.
That's quite unfortunate. You might cut ties with any and everyone on those 2 teams. I mean,
can we just say it? It might be interesting that Dallas has to forfeit games because they aren't going to have enough players in like 2 weeks.
Shout out Brandon Williams, who's been a fantasy darling. Yeah, I don't even know how to respond to that. But 10 play with 3 and 18 play with 4. So it should be a fair week if you have most of your players on those teams, those 18 teams that do play 4. But yeah, Orlando Magic players, if you had Wagner, if you had Ben Carroll, that was one of your high picks. Or obviously, if you had anybody on the Mavericks to start the season.
Yeah, you probably
unless you had Luka, that's a different story. From one Orlando Magic to Orlando Robinson.
Woo, James! It only took you 20 weeks to get good with these transitions.
The guy has been carrying, and I've been reluctant to pick him up. Like, it was like, I don't know. Orlando Robinson, benefit of the Toronto Raptors, just kind of, packing it in, going home. And with that, some people have gotten an opportunity and balled out. AJ Lawson, you may have picked him up because he's hooping, because he's getting an opportunity that he would never gotten. But 25, 12, 6 assists, 2 threes. Like, who is this? Nikola Jokic? What say you on Orlando Robinson this week, who's been a top 30 player maybe this week?
I mean, we saw this, a few glimpses of this a few years ago with Miami. Something about Miami, the backup big men that just put up stats.
And where's Yurt7 at right now? Anyway,
I know. They ruined his career, but I mean, the volume is there. 29 shots over the last 2 games. I think the rebounds are going to speak for itself. He's had 5, 6, and 4 rebounds over the last 3 games. And the fact that he's giving you a few threes, like averaging a 3 a game.
In the
that's just gravy on top. That's just James. That's a little like mashed potatoes, a little gravy on top. I'm not even a gravy fan, but it just fits this analogy.
Who's not?
Add him if he's available.
This is why we disagree on things. Who is not a? Wait, hold on. You're not a gravy fan?
No
sauce,
flavor. I'm not a mashed potatoes and potatoes and gravy guy. Very turkey and stuffing are the way to go.
Wow.
Get like some sauteed veggies and all that.
How wide of you to say? No, I'm just kidding.
Whoa! We're definitely not making it back for next season. It's a good thing that we're not owned by a parent company.
Spencer Dinwiddie has probably been featured here this season more than anyone else. He's getting an opportunity, obviously, in Dallas. They're like They have nobody else. What other guards do they have? Kyrie's out for the year. They trade
Brandon
Luka.
Williams.
Yeah, Brandon
and
Williams, Jaden
Jaden
Hardy, probably getting some. But 17 for. I mean, I'm rounding up here for, to boast Spencer's numbers. He will disappoint you. He will drop a dub and then he'll drop 7 the next day. But he does, flirt in other categories. But he is somebody that, it's 24% roster. You can find him in most leagues, and he's gonna produce, and he may, actually win you the week. So, like, yeah, you're rolling the dice with him, but at the same time, he's better than some of these other casuals that we'll be mentioning in the show.
My only qualm is they play 2 games next week. I can't control or predict what his efficiency will be.
Yeah, so I would say this is more of like a for next week if you have some moves. And then if you can do that, yeah, I wouldn't recommend picking him up this week.
But the last 6 games, 29 minutes plus in all of them, and 35 plus minutes in each of the last 3 games. Dallas has to play people, and I think that's where Spencer Dinwiddie is going to have his value. But obviously, yeah, the 2 games next week is not ideal.
Keon Johnson had one good game recently. You tell me why people should pick him up, because I'm saying no.
I mean, look, as someone that sold me out this week for rebounds, Keon Johnson then stepped in as soon as Cam Thomas was announced out for the season. 21 points, 5 3-pointers, 6 rebounds, 2 assists. I'd be interested if Brooklyn starts to have some more guys sit. Maybe Cam Johnson. They've been having Nick Claxton, which obviously they play different positions, but just kind of going with Brooklyn shutting it down for this year. So 12% rostered, and we've seen some upside from him this season previously.
Dalton Connect, 32 in the last game, and somebody that got traded and had to go back to his team. LeBron James is now out. Luka misses a game. They don't have many players on this roster. I like Dalton Connect this week a lot.
It's funny. Dalton Connect. James, let me ask you, do you think Dalton Connect wants to be in LA right now?
Yeah.
I don't think he does. He doesn't pass the ball. But, I mean, LA needs people.
He doesn't want to be in Charlotte.
He doesn't want to be in Charlotte.
I wouldn't either.
He doesn't want to be in Charlotte, but he didn't want to be in LA. As evident by the assist numbers and the fact that his assist prop is usually 0.5 or 1.5, which I feel like for a rookie, unless you're Cam Whitmore, is kind of crazy. But LA needs bodies. LeBron is down at least another week. Jackson Hayes has been hurt. Rui has been hurt. Jared Vanderbilt has missed a couple games in the last week or so. So really, who's going to step up? And it's been Dalton Connect behind Austin Reeves.
I mean, who's going to score the basketball? But yeah, Austin Reeves, if you've got him in wherever you got him, it's clearly beneficial right now.
He's been hooping.
Jeremy Sohan, no stranger to our show. He's honestly like a model of consistency with his numbers. I mean, it's nothing that's going to go high ceiling, but he's going to filter out the categories here and there. So I'm not going to say like he's this great fantasy basketball player, but I would say he won't lose you the week. He won't win you the week. So I'll just put it that way.
And let me
he's not sexy when it comes to like the playoffs.
Yeah.
Like
instead of season, that should be over the last week. His full season numbers are a little bit lower. But De'Aaron Fox out for the season, Wemby out for the season. Sohan has gained center eligibility this year in Yahoo. And like you said, James, model of consistency over the last week, averaging 15 points a game. He's going to give you some rebounds, maybe a 3 a game. And he's giving you a little bit in the stocks category too. So he's just someone that has a lot of versatility in your lineup.
And if you don't know about the next player that we're about to talk about, you do not watch NBA basketball. I swear, if you don't know who Jeff Doughton Jr., I'm,
James
because
didn't know about him.
who went to St. John's College of D.C. and is from Upper Marlboro, Maryland, PG County, Maryland. If you don't know about this guy, there's something wrong with you. He was an absolute stud for Rhode Island, and now in his 27th year on the earth, he is making his basketball impact with not one dub club, but 2 in a row for the Philadelphia 76ers. The misery of the NBA and the worst franchise season that I've ever witnessed as a basketball fan.
Yeah, I mean, talk about a team that just really had expectations coming into the season, and those in the general public, aka myself, knew Philly wasn't going to do anything this year and are capitalizing a lot. But I mean, Philly's packing it in to the point where the NBA is investigating them about how they're labeling injuries. I think the big 3 are done this year. Obviously, Embiid is done. I think Paul George is done. Tyrese Maxey has missed the last 6 games. Andre Drummond has been hurt with a sprained toe. Gershon Yabusele has been hurt. Adem Bona has been hurt. Quentin Grimes has been hurt. So it is next man up for Jeff Doughton Jr. Look at that, 10% rostered and all 10% coming in the last week. But when you have back-to-back 20-point games and you're getting the burn that he played 40 minutes last game against Indiana. That is what you were looking for at this point in the season.
Yeah, and obviously I'm joking. I take pride in knowing everybody comes out of this area, and no, I didn't know. Yeah, thank you, Doc.
No, just continue.
No, I'm done.
I'm listening.
I'm done.
I'm
No,
listening.
Done. I don't need to say anything else. Shout out Cam Ward, out of Largo High School, back-to-back state championships, and he set the Maryland high school basketball record for points all time. He'll be joining Michigan State in the Spartans next season. Wish he would have gone to Maryland, but I would be supporting him. I know about him because he did some numbers.
Look at James trying to cover up and flex some knowledge because he didn't know Jeff Doughton Jr.
I digress and move on to Moses Moody, somebody I liked out of the draft last 2 weeks, 13-4-2. I think that he's somebody that can really benefit from Jimmy Butler coming into town. They can steal a little bit from his game, as a model of consistency. And they haven't moved these guys. They moved James Wiseman. That was it. But you could, say this and that about everything that they've done as far as their draft picks and not moving them. This is a good basketball player. I want to say you, Doc.
I mean, James, to begin the show, you and I were making jokes, and then you did something last time, about last segment, and now you're serious. One could say you're being moody. But Moses Moody, double-digit points in his last 6 games. The Warriors have looked like a completely different team with Jimmy Butler there. I mean, he from a defensive
8 out of 10. 8 out of 10.
8 out of 10. I think it's like 12 out of 14 too, or something like that. But from a steals perspective, 1.4 over the last couple weeks, giving you a couple threes a game. The last 2 games, he's had 4 threes. And Golden State plays Monday, Tuesday. They have 4 games for the week. So ideally, he's streaming candidate at worst.
For sure. Justin Champagne. Do you have any champagne to flex on us?
Not this time. Otherwise, I would have brought it out.
It's wild, and we don't do this on purpose, but it wouldn't be a pod without a wizard getting mentioned.
I mean, look, Bilal Coulibaly's out for the season, and Justin Champagne just signed a new deal.
He did.
He's gonna play.
He's gonna play. Money.
Yeah. I mean, 16 points, 13 rebounds. Prior to that, 17 and 9. Before that, 5 and 8. Before that, 6 and 9. He's flirting with double doubles over the last week and a half.
Well, in last week we mentioned Kayshawn George. He ended up pulling through this last week, and we talked about Deuce McBride. He was a contributor. Talked about Brandon Williams. He had a good week. This week, obviously, he only plays 2 games, but I mean, we told y'all last week some of the players that aren't being talked about this week, and we don't necessarily pat ourselves on the shoulder every week, but like we were right. Like if you picked some of those guys, they probably benefited for your playoff roster.
And I'll say this more than anything: don't get attached to name value now. Don't be hesitant to pick up guys you've never heard of, and don't be afraid to cut guys that aren't producing. Like James, I think maybe for future shows we talk about guys, and for my own sake as well, that if you don't feel bad cutting, Amatas Buzelis has been somebody that I've been kind of debating about. Guys that, I mean, with Utah, you're not cutting anyone, but just being mindful of them, resting. Guys like Cam Thomas that are eventually ruled out. So, just something to note.
Yeah, and Aaron Gordon is somebody I think about as like a fantasy hold all the season. But like when it comes down to playoffs, you can get rid of Aaron Gordon because he's basically day to day all season long, and he might not play that night. So, yeah, you got to go all in. You got to put all the chips in there. Don't think of fantasy hold like a Clint Capella, somebody I was holding all year, and I feel good that I dropped him 3 weeks ago. But like, he should be doing better. I don't know the situation. No one really knows exactly.
Lonzo Ball, that's another one you could get rid of.
Yes, 100%. And it makes me think about LaMelo. That like, God damn it, why do they're gonna sit him? So if you put your chips in a LaMelo Ball, it's just unfortunate this time of the year. Kawhi's not going to go back to back, but if his schedule works out, it'll work in your favor. I don't know. Put all your chips in, and stay active with whether you get 3 or 4 moves a week or more than that. Is absolutely
another
insane.
one. Cut John Collins.
John Collins, yeah.
It's probably good to cut DeAndre Ayton.
Yeah, absolutely.
So just some names that have value on the surface that production wise it's not worth to keep unless you have them not in your IL spot.
Yeah, because like literally Orlando Robinson could have won you this week, being crazy, So
going bananas.
Good luck to you. It's bananas that every time the Terrapins lose, it's at the buzzer. This is Selection Sunday, so we can't wait to see what happens with the rosters. And
wait, James, we got a couple more guys to talk about.
Why do we have to talk about them?
Yeah, Dayron. I didn't make these graphics for nothing.
All right, well then you take the lead on last two.
All right, I'll take the lead on the final two. Don't cut me off. I didn't do this work for nothing. No free labor. 9 points.
boards is impressive.
Exactly. And I know Nick Claxton sat last game. Nick Claxton has been sitting about every other game, and with no actual injury. They just say rest next to it. But even when Nick Claxton has been playing, Dayron Sharp has been a great source of rebounds. 16, 6, 7, 7 over the last 4 games. So just monitor that as well, especially if you're streaming categories. He's giving you a little bit of assists. And Scottie Pippen Jr. making his way back onto the show. Has been playing a little bit more over the last few weeks, 20 plus minutes in 6 out of his last 7 games. He had 11 and 11 last game. But if anything, you use him as a steal streamer, 2+ steals in 7 consecutive games, a block in 5 consecutive games. He's given you a little bit of everything, and we've seen this early on in the season. Only 16% rostered.
Where did Scottie Pippen Jr. go to high school?
He went to high school at Sierra Canyon.
Hey.
No, I have his Google page up right now.
Okay.
I don't know high schools out of anyone past like 2006 draft.
Sierra Canyon just won the state championship. So it was something that Bronny James couldn't do. Bryce James is playing there now. But Bronny was 1 game away when they cut it down with the COVID. Anyways, I was curious to see if you knew.
Nope.
Where they came from.
After like 2007 NBA draft, it all started to kind of go down.
He played with another former NBA player, which is a junior. Can you guess who that player is? He played for the Houston Rockets, got traded to Philly. High flyer.
KJ Martin Jr.
There you go.
Woo! All right, let's go.
Yeah, we'll end on that note. My man. Yeah, I didn't mean to cut the last 2 people off. I honestly did. That wasn't my plan. Yeah. Probably. Well, we definitely need a new intro. That is 100% true.
We do. We
Jacob
do.
hasn't been
We need
here for
this.
years.
We need this face and maybe my tubby cat on in the background.
That's nice. All right, for Doc, I'm Coach Lou. Till next time, peace.